Only 1 day is left for Fable 5.
The most capable model we've ever released to the public.
The US government has ordered Anthropic to suspend access to Fable and Mythos for foreigners, citing national security concerns.
US government applied export controls to Claude Fable 5 and Claude Mythos 5.
That's why we have made a tutorial on how we built stunning 3D models, created premium storytelling websites, and also explored loop engineering with Fable 5's on-demand advisory.
Actually, the thing that I've been finding myself using more and more is loop. It's just like the coolest thing. It's like the simplest thing that works.
We will teach you how Fable 5 works and how you can keep using it even after July 12th. We're also giving away a free Claude Pro plan, so comment your original non-AI generated notes from this video in English. You'll find all the giveaway details in the description. So without further ado, let's get started.
Now, before we start working on Fable 5, let us first understand the benchmarks of this. So if I scroll down on the official blog post, you can see that this is our table. It is pretty clear that Claude Fable 5 and the Mythos class is pretty good with agentic coding in both the benchmarks, which is SWE Bench Pro and Frontier Code. Now, these are different tests that this model undergoes for different domains. And because Claude Fable 5 is a pretty interesting model and it has been very good with cybersecurity domains, it is pretty good with all the coding files as well. Which means that if you're trying to build a website, any 3D render or anything that includes code at a given level, it can be done in a very easy way with Fable 5 with very low number of prompts. Now, if you see more, it also has spatial reasoning, which is why we see most of the people using it for video creation, for image creation, and for the analysis of different videos. Now, apart from this, there are two more graphs that justifies why this is pretty good with agentic coding. Now, let us see what other people have been building with the help of Fable 5. So, I'll simply go to X, and this is the first video by Higgsfield itself. You can see the clear difference between Claude Fable 5 and Sonnet 5 generations inside video creation. There is such a huge difference because Claude Fable 5 is pretty good with all the physics, laws of nature, which is why it outperforms any other model right now. People have been building websites like this using Fable 5. All the animations, all the 3D objects that you see in these kind of websites are created by Fable 5 itself. This is another example of Fable 5 website. You have 3D structure, you have books animation, you have everything inside one given page. Now you can create animations like this inside your own product or project and then use it directly. Well, I've been building 3D diagrams and 3D assets using Fable 5 as well. You can see that this person has created CPU, GPU, RAM and SSD to understand how these works. And it also has an expanded view for all of these. And if you have worked with 3D objects before, you know how difficult it is to create these kind of animations as well as models. Even the AI engineer at Claude Code published this interesting blog post on Claude Fable 5, which is Finding Your Unknowns. This is a guide to Claude Fable 5 of how it works and how it can be made better. And people have been building keyboards, customizing it, selling it. It is just a different game because it can build and perform on Three.js, which is one of the type of the coding languages, and people have been utilizing the power. Even Claude published that because Fable 5 takes more tokens and it costs more to you, you can use it as an advisor instead of the executor. It means that you can create anything using Sonnet model or Opus model and then get it verified using the advisor, which is Fable 5. Because Fable 5 is pretty good with reasoning, it can have a spatial awareness of what you have created and it can give the feedback to your model. I'll also tell you how you can create this loop using Claude Code later in this video. First, let's give a try to our Fable 5. What I'll do is I'll simply go to my Claude desktop app. Let's try creating a 3D model of an AI GPU, which is NVIDIA H100. So let me show you how it looks. This is how the NVIDIA H100 GPU looks like. Let's try creating it and let's give the Claude the duty to research about it and let's give it a simple prompt. So I'll simply go to my Claude, enter the prompt that I've created, which says that research about NVIDIA H100 Tensor Core GPU, PCB layout, heatsink, vapor chamber. I have described a little bit of information so it can find relevant model for it or create relevant model for it. On the bottom right, I'll select the model as Fable 5 and in the effort level, it is high by default, but what I've seen that it works pretty well with medium as well. So For all your tasks with Fable, you can use medium level of efforts and high only if needs complex reasoning or any mathematical equations. Let's choose it medium for now and click on send. Now it says that skip for all approvals is on because of this setting. So either you can set it to manually approve or skip for approvals. Because this is a simple task and I know that it don't need to change any folders or any coding files in my system. That's why I've chosen skip all approvals. But if you're trying to perform a complex task, it is very important for you to choose manually approve so that Claude can ask you for permissions at each and every step. So now it is asking that which vector should I model? Either it is H100 PCIe, H100 SXM5 or what? Let's choose the SXM5 because this will give us the better view of our model and the 3D model will be far more better. And now you can see that after some time we have our GLB file, which is our main model. We have our HTML viewer, we have our Python file which it created as well as the image. On the right side you can see that it completed all the progress by itself. These are to-dos that it created for itself so that it can perform these tasks pretty well. Now this is the time for our reveal. Let's click on open in preview and this is our model. You can see how good it is. It used to take a lot of time and efforts to create 3D models like this, but you can see how good this is. It is the actual replica of the GPU. And I can directly import it with all the texture, all the colors inside my 3D Blender or any software, and it will be ready to use. Now let's see what are the other files that we got. Let's click on HTML viewer and look at that. This is our HTML viewer, and if you notice on the bottom left, if I scroll on any of these parts, it gets highlighted and the name is given to me. So these are heatsink underscore finstack. This is our PCB underscore PG520, which is super interesting. If you are into GPUs or if you want to explain it to anyone, this is how you can do it. And the best part is if I click on toggle heatsink, this is how it looks. So now a more detailed view for me to go through. And it's super interesting that these kind of models and these kind of pictures, animation, texture can be easily built with these kind of models. It is a complete game changer for any industry. Now, apart from it, it has also given me the PNG so that I can visualize this model and what all is included. Which means that if I go back to my Chrome file and click on explode, it opens this up in layers. So this is the possibility of Fable 5 with 3D models. And if I hover on any one of these, I can see what this is called. And if I have to make any change to this, I would say that if I hover on any one of these, I should also get the function of that particular thing. Now let us see the next possibility with this model. So I've seen that people can create multiple kind of websites with it. And my favorite one is the storytelling website, which has 3D animations. So let's create this for a real estate website in such a way that if I scroll, I get into that building or the property. If I scroll down a little bit more, I get into one of the rooms, say bedroom. And then if I keep scrolling, it navigates me throughout the home like a home tour. So I've created the simple prompt saying that create a scroll-driven 3D storytelling website for my luxury real estate project. Now I'm not defining what kind of project this is and I'm not uploading the real images because I want to see how Fable performs if you don't give it the actual images or videos. Does it create it in 3D or does it analyzes everything and create the images by itself? And because we are only trying to check the capability of this model, which is the 3D scroll and storytelling, I think this is a pretty good prompt for you to get started. I'll simply click on send and we'll see how this model performs. You can see that it is asking me what visual mode should the walkthrough have. I'll choose dark. And should I invent branding for this project or do you have a real property? I'll say that invent a fictional project for now. And now after some time, you can see that it has given me my website. I'll simply click on open in Google Chrome and look at that. This is the website that it has created. If I scroll down, you can see that I get a name Lumera. On the left side, I have a tower that keeps its distance from the ordinary. And if I scroll down, look at that, a 360 view for me. And now I'm going in. This is me just scrolling through and Fable 5 has created this storytelling for me. It says that you do not enter Lumera, you are received. Scrolling down a little bit more, a room measure not in feet but in horizon. This is our kitchen. If I scroll down a little bit more, this is our bedroom. Now I know that all these are 3D structures. This is generated with one prompt only, but if you spend more time, if you spend more efforts and upload your images, videos, and then create something, it will be very similar to this. This is our balcony. If I keep scrolling, now I am going to my pool side, which is pretty interesting. So this was our website. This is our simple scroll website that can be created with Fable 5. See, if you have worked with coding in general, or if you have been a front-end engineer specifically, you know how difficult it is to connect everything, connect all functions, and create something like this. If Fable can help you out in website development or any kind of technical development, it will be a game changer for you. So Claude can be connected to Higgsfield. For those who don't know what Higgsfield is, it can be used to create photos and videos. It is kind of an aggregator of different models. So what you can do is simply go to Higgsfield and then connect it with Claude to create real images or videos for your website. So simply go to higgsfield.ai, and we'll also mention a detailed document on this so that you can follow through, and if you miss any step, you can watch this video. Once inside Higgsfield, I get an option to select MCP and CLI. If you don't know what MCP is, it is Model Context Protocol. It helps your AI model or Claude to be connected with Higgsfield or Claude. I'll simply copy this URL. I go back to my Claude account, and from the left navigation bar, I'll go to settings, and inside settings, I'll select connectors, and in the connectors, I'll simply click on this add button, click on add custom connector, give a name that this is Higgsfield, and then give a server URL. Now, as soon as I click on add, I'll be redirected to the Higgsfield website, and I'll authenticate everything, and my account setup will be done. And this is how it will look. So I'll have interactive tools like explainer video, generate image, generate video, which we will be using later in this example. So what I simply did was I said that, can you please use the Higgsfield MCP and now make the same website with realistic images? Create any images you want, but the storyline, the flow, and the animation should be the same. And then after some time using Higgsfield, this is what it has created. It used the Nano Banana Pro model for different images, and it came up with these images. So if I scroll down a little bit more, you can see that all these images were created inside Claude itself. And then after some time, we got our new website. So if I click on open in Google Chrome, this is how it looks. So if I keep scrolling, this is how the property is. And it is super interesting to watch that all this can be done with single prompt. And this is a complete walkthrough of our website. So this is how you use Fable 5 for website creation and 3D model generation. Now let us move to the next example. So now if you remember the executor as well as the advisor part and this exact loop that I mentioned before starting this complete video, let me show you exactly how you can create it. Now this will be done inside Claude Code because there is an actual command that can help you achieve this. The reason is that most people don't know what that command is. So let me open up a terminal on my system. I'll simply enter Claude in this, and this will initialize a Claude session for me inside my own system. Now, if you don't have Claude Code set up inside your system or in your terminal, we'll attach our official link in the description so that you can go through it, set up everything, and come to this exact same step. Now that is only one command, so it will hardly take you 5 to 10 minutes if you are on a pro plan. I'll simply click on yes, I trust this folder, and this is my Claude account. On the bottom right, you can see that I get a lot of options to select multiple commands. As soon as I enter slash, you can see there is an option for me to create loop. Loop helps me create multiple workflows inside Claude Code that works on themselves. So which means that once I have identified all the goals, all the checks, all the evaluations, then I can assign a significant time for Claude Code to go through it. Like bring me the top 5 daily AI updates daily at 10 a.m. And it will do it for me once I have identified how it works. So there's an option to select model as well. So if I select model, I can choose between Opus, Default, Sonnet or Haiku. So what I'll do, I'll simply select Sonnet for now because our primary model is Sonnet. But our advisor model, which is /advisor, can be Fable 5. When you are in a corporate, you obviously know these terms, which is engineering and a QA team. So anything that you build comes under the engineering team, any website, any front end, any back end. But then it goes to the QA team, which checks all the constraints, all the security, all the bugs, whether this feature is working particularly or not. And they do a rigorous testing of how it looks and how it works. So they act as an advisor. In our case, it is Fable 5. Now, if I give any task to him or this Claude session, then it will use Sonnet to work on that, and advisor as Fable 5. So this is how you switch between model and advisor. Now I hope that this model is making sense for you. Let's create a simple workflow using the loop engineering concept and advisor and model. So what I'll do, I'll enter /loop daily at 10 a.m. bring me the top AI news in hardware that is useful for me to build a startup upon. And that's it. Now, model is Sonnet 5, which is, it can bring any news that it can find on any given website. And now it is asking for me that this loop stops when you close this session. Set it up as a cloud schedule instead, so it keeps running. So I'll select cloud schedule, and then I'll select yes and always allow. You can see that it is now working and it will create the skill for me, the schedule task for me, and it will perform a loop engineering inside itself. And it will always go to Claude Fable 5 as an advisor. I'll select Gmail draft only because it is my only account. I can select any other Gmail account, or if I want, send it to be someone else. And you can see that there's a / command which is /btw. And I can ask any side questions without interrupting Claude's current session. And it is actually a great update because while I'm working on Claude Code, I always get new ideas, or if I want to work parallelly on a different thing, I can use that. I'll simply select yes and don't ask again. And you can see that here is the routine that it says that it will create. It is just asking for my permission. I'll click on continue, and that's it. Now let us see that what it has built. If I go to this particular link, it opens up this Claude account on my browser. I can see the connectors, I can see the instructions, I can see the repeats, that 10 a.m. daily, and these are all my routines that I can set up inside my Claude Code. And you can do everything that I did in my terminal into Claude Code web version as well. Or if you have an app, you can simply navigate to Claude Code and then enter directly your command in this checkbox. I usually work on terminal because it is far more easier for me, being from an engineering background. But you can try it out anywhere. You can build the same systems and build the same loop using Sonnet as your primary model and Fable as an advisor. Now, if I go back to my terminal, I can ask it to run it now to check. Now you can see that the complete execution was successful and it has given us the link to follow our draft, and it has said that your draft will be ready in your Gmail account. So this is how you create a loop in which Sonnet acts as an executor and Fable acts as an advisor. There is this one last resource which I wanted to share with you, which is Prompting Claude Fable 5. This is a complete guide released by Anthropic itself on their official documentation. It tells you exactly how this model performs, what are the benefits, how you can use it, what are the capability improvements, and what all levels you should consider, how you should give strong instructions. The ground progress claims that during long runs it performs far better. You always need to set the boundaries. It includes parallel sub-agents. It can construct a memory system for you, which means that you do not need an external memory system while working on Fable. So now if I want the exact or the similar steps to be followed by a different model, which is Sonnet or Opus, what I can do is I can simply create on copy page and then go to my Claude, go to my co-work session, and then create a skill with Claude. I can type in /skill creator and then say, create a skill based on all the instructions and the best practices given in the following text, and name the skill Fable Mode. And then I'll simply paste it and then click on send. But for creating a skill, we need only the best practices, and it will be better if we can create the internal reasoning and include the thinking of the Fable 5 even while creating the skill. So I'll simply click on send. And once I have this skill ready, I can simply call the skill and work with Sonnet or capable models like Opus 4.8 and give the same instructions or same best practices that Fable 5 follows. And this can be a game changer for me, which means that I can use the Opus 4.8 at the best practice of Fable 5, and it will definitely give me the better output. And now you can see that my skill file is ready. What I can do is simply click on this save skill, and that's it. I've now added the best prompts and best working guide for Fable 5 as a skill file, which means that whenever I want better reasoning or better loops, I can use this Fable mode with any models available. So this is how you use Fable 5. Now in the next part, I'll cover how you can use Fable 5 with the API usage. Now there's a little bit of confusion that what will happen once the Fable 5 is banned for the general access. Now it is not being banned, it is only being restricted to the API usage because this is a powerful model. So it can be only utilized with the help of Fable 5 through API. And here you can see that access to Fable 5 and Claude Mythos 5 has been restored, and this is our statement. So I have loaded these many credits. I can simply click on get API key. This is the platform.claude.com/dashboard. So you can also navigate it through using your model. If I click on models, this is the pricing of the Fable 5 through API. And I can click on view full pricing and I'll get a full breakdown, but I'm only letting you know how you can use Fable 5 through API. So I'll simply click on get API key. I'll mention this Ansh Mehra API key, or let's say that this is CES API key. I'll create the workspace as default, and then I'll select create API key. And now because I have received my API key, I'll simply copy this. I'll click on done, and I'll keep this API with me. So what you can do is that once you have created this API, you can simply go to your Claude Code, which is in your terminal, and then log in it or use this API directly. So now once you are inside your Claude Code, you can simply type in /login. And when you create this, you get an option to select Anthropic console account, which is API usage billing. As soon as I click on this enter, I'll be prompted to give the account name. As soon as I click on authorize, it will be connected to my console account. And then because I can use credit and I can use API usage using this login, I'll be able to use Fable 5 even after 12th of July. So this is how you use Fable 5 in all different scenarios for all your different works. And this is how you create loops, website, and everything using Fable 5.